So what happens when a YouTuber, we're talking 15 million subscribers, 100 million views a month, decides to just replace himself with an AI? Well, today we're diving into the wild story of Kwebbelkop, a creator who literally had it all and then gambled everything on one crazy idea, that the human part of his channel was actually its biggest weakness.
And just look at this. The stakes, they were astronomical. In just 1 year, his viewership absolutely cratered. We're talking a drop of over 90%. So how on earth does a YouTube giant like him just collapse so hard, so fast? Well, that's the story we're getting into. It's this incredible cautionary tale about ambition, burnout, and maybe most importantly, completely misreading what your audience actually wants from you.
All right, so to really get how it all went so wrong, we've got to go back and see just how right it was for so long. We need to understand how high he got. This is the story of Jordi van Nieuwendijk, a gamer who started in his bedroom and became, for a while, YouTube royalty.
So Jordi kicked things off way back in 2011, but things didn't really take off until 2014. That's when he teamed up with two other guys, Jelly and Slogo, and they formed this trio called Robust. And man, their GTA 5 Funny Moments videos, they were an absolute phenomenon. They blew up, and pretty soon these guys were some of the biggest names on the platform.
And the numbers, I mean, they were just insane. Get this, 1 billion views in just 2 years. 1 billion. Fans were literally hitting refresh every single day, just waiting for the next video to drop. But here's the thing, that same relentless pace that built this empire, well, it was also secretly tearing him apart.
Yeah, that whole daily video grind, it came with a massive hidden cost. Behind the camera, the pressure to just keep performing day in and day out was really starting to take its toll.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Back in a 2018 interview, Jordi himself opened up about how trapped he felt. His whole business, this massive channel, it was all built on him. Just him. If he ever wanted a break, if he stopped, the whole thing would just grind to a halt. He was completely overworked, battling depression, and that feeling, that pressure, was pushing him towards a decision that would change his entire career.
So, after some creative differences, he eventually split from the Robust trio, and this is where his mindset really starts to shift. He becomes obsessed with solving this problem of being the single point of failure. His new ambition? To build these huge, scalable creator brands. The only problem was, his method for doing it showed he kind of didn't get his own audience at all.
And this is where we see a major clash in how people see YouTube. Jordi brings on a smaller creator, a guy named Hassan, to be the face of a brand new channel called Tiger. Now for Hassan, this was a dream come true, you know? A mentorship with a YouTube legend? But for Jordi, it was just business. Hassan wasn't a partner, he was talent. A replaceable part in a machine that Jordi owned, lock, stock, and barrel.
So what happens? Well, Hassan starts asking about maybe getting some ownership down the line, and to Jordi, that was a total betrayal. The whole thing just blew up. Hassan wakes up one day and boom, he's completely locked out of the channel he'd been pouring his heart into. And get this, Jordi didn't just kick him out. He actually tried to replace him with an AI clone. This was the first huge blinking red light about how he really saw the human element in his business.
You'd think that whole disaster with Hassan would be a warning sign, right? Nope. For Jordi, it was inspiration. It solidified his ultimate solution. See, if human partners are a problem, and if your own burnout is a problem, well, the answer is simple, isn't it? Just get rid of the human altogether, even if that human is you. And listen, his own words tell you everything you need to know about his mindset at this point. He truly, genuinely believes that the creator, the personality that the entire channel is built around, wasn't the main asset. No, it was a bug. It was a problem to be solved, the weak link that needed to be replaced by AI.
Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Jordi's entire career, all those billions of views, it was all built on him. His personality, his laugh, that chemistry he had with Jelly and Slogo. People didn't subscribe to a faceless brand, they subscribed to Jordi. So, what on earth were they going to think when their favorite creator was suddenly replaced by a robot?
So even before the big AI switcheroo, there were signs of a disconnect. He stepped back from the daily uploads, and he promised his fans these amazing, top-notch videos were coming. But what did they get? They got videos of him flexing his $7.5 million penthouse and his custom G-Wagon. It just screamed to his audience that he was completely out of touch with why they watched him in the first place.
And then it happened.
In August 2023, he made it official. The real Jordy was out, and Kwebbelkop AI was in, taking over the entire channel. The reaction from the internet? Oh, it was instant, and it was absolutely brutal.
I mean, the comment sections on these new AI videos, they were just a total bloodbath. You saw words like cringy, terrible, painful to watch everywhere. But the comments that really hit home were the ones that said, "I miss when he was making videos with Jelly and Slogo." See, fans weren't just mad about the bad AI. They were genuinely sad. They were mourning the creator that used to know and love.
Another huge YouTuber, Charlie, you probably know him as Penguin Zero, he just hit the nail on the head. He pointed out that people weren't watching for some soulless, automated video game playthrough. No, they were there for a person, for a story, a connection. Kwebbelkop AI, it had none of that. It was basically just content with the soul completely ripped out of it. But here's where it gets even crazier. Instead of listening to any of this feedback, Jordy decided to double down. He started teasing an apology video, making everyone think the real Kwebbelkop was coming back. And his fans, for a second, were ecstatic. But it was all a trick. The whole video was actually made by a new, more advanced AI clone. It wasn't an apology at all. It was a lie. And you can bet his audience was even more livid. And that was really the point of no return. The trust was completely shattered. The audience was gone. They'd moved on. This was the beginning of the end. The final, total collapse of his YouTube empire.
So even though the channel technically still had 15 million subscribers, it had become what you'd call a digital ghost town. Yeah, the subscriber number was still there on the page, but the community, the engagement, the actual people who make a channel feel alive, they were just gone. The lifeblood of the channel had completely disappeared.
By the start of 2024, Jordy finally seemed to see the writing on the wall. He privated all the AI videos. He even tried to stage a comeback with his old buddy Jelly, but it was too late. The magic was gone. And then came the final blow. YouTube itself stepped in and terminated the Kwebbelkop AI channel for violating their policies. Think about that. Even the platform itself wanted nothing to do with this experiment.
And now we get to the ultimate irony of this whole story. What's Jordy doing today? Well, he's rebranded himself as a tech entrepreneur. And what is he selling? He's selling other creators the exact same kind of AI tools that completely destroyed his own channel. It really makes you wonder if he learned the lesson at all.
So, in the end, this whole Kwebbelkop saga leaves us with a really big question, especially now. In this age of AI where everything is getting more automated, what is a creator's most valuable asset? Is it just about being efficient and scalable, churning out automated content? Or is it that one thing a machine can never, ever truly replicate? The messy, the flawed, the funny, the completely irreplaceable human element.